Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Hard Truth. Thank you so much for watching. The Idaho 4 case has become such a mess, and for some reason, both the prosecution and the defense seems to be struggling and grasping at straws. I want to talk to you about the feverish, worthless searches of Kohberger's online searches, his shopping, and his music choices on Spotify. And also Nancy Grace's aha moment when she realized she fell into the rabbit hole. So grab that coffee or a nice cup of tea as we begin our story.
Hearing reports that the two surviving roommates, Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Frank, were actually awake and texting each other during the murders of their roommates. I find that really hard to believe.
Imagine someone storming into 1122 King Road like this. How likely is it that these guys didn't check every room when they first got in the home? Why is the prosecution trying so hard to sell that Diem and Bethany were home during these unalivings? They have been telling us as late as December the 1st that Diem and Bethany were asleep. So, how could this story just change like that? I think the police made this statement before they examined DM and BL's phone records and discovered back and forth activity between them at the wrong time. So the story is being adjusted to fit the evidence. Since DM and Bethany were texting each other during the crimes, that means wherever they worked together. They're in two different places. DM supposedly called the roommates, all of them. And so if she wasn't in the house, why did she feel the need to do that? And if they were calling the Idaho 4 to check on them from elsewhere, or outside the house, and they never called the police for a welfare check, they didn't reach any of them. Not only were they not home, they knew what was happening. DM and Bethany's phone records are likely to be another big problem for the prosecution that they're trying to work out. And God knows they have plenty of time to do it. Now, on the subject of Kohberger and the police searching Amazon, Spotify, and all that madness, that is old news. All right. And so what if he had bought a knife? They can't prove a K-bar knife is the murder weapon. Now, it would look bad if he bought the exact same sheath that was left. I mean, that wouldn't look good for him. It's not enough to convict somebody, but it's just another straw on the camel's back, so to speak. All right. But so far I haven't heard any proof that he did. If he did buy one, I guess we would know by now. What would you say if Kohberger was listening to some psychopathic music though? Like Van Halen made a song back in the day where they kept saying, go ahead and jump. And people were saying it was encouraging somebody to commit suicide. Or what about Having a Blast by Green Day, where it's talking about walking around with explosives, duct tape to somebody's spine? I mean, really, listen to that kind of music could psych you up to do something. Do you think that if he was listening to that kind of music, it would be enough to establish Brian Kohberger as a psychopath? And do you think it's desperate for the prosecution to look into his music choices, or do you think that's a really, really, really good move? The last thing that I would like to talk about is all these fake audios out here. I mean, I listened to one about Linda Lane a little while ago. Honestly, I mean, it's people calling each other by their first names, which is a big no no in a hit like that. Nobody's calling anybody by their first name or any name. As a matter of fact, I doubt there's any talking at all, if any. And so I just think it's really ridiculous. Some of these audios that I hear, it's just, I feel like personally, it's somebody making this stuff up just to make some news. Until we get some real news from the case, this is something exciting, hearing somebody screaming and stuff. But when you have a professional hit like that, which it was, nobody's doing any talking. And if they, I mean, they'll signal to each other They're not doing any talking, and if they are, it's minimal. There's no way in the world that Linda Lane audio, to me, in my opinion, is authentic. We know that Xana's father said that she called him at one point during the evening, late into the night, and that she said she was at home. So if two people were unalived away from 1122 King Road, it would have had to be Maddie and Kaylee. And so I just don't see somebody unaliving two people and then taking a chance of dragging their corpses to across the field to their home, up the stairs, and taking a chance on being caught by the police with the corpses. I just don't believe that. So that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people do believe that the Linda Lane version makes sense, and some people are trying to even fit it into the 4 to 420 timeline. I'm sorry, but I just can't jump on that bandwagon. I think that's another rabbit hole, and so I'll just see what you think about it. Okay, here is the Super Saturday survey. The question for this week is: do you believe DM and Bethany were in the house during the Idaho 4 crimes? All right, your choices are yes, no, or I don't know. Either scenario is possible. All right, and whatever you choose, be sure to include your rationale down in the comment section. All right, thank you so much for watching. Much love to each of you. Much love to our international viewers. And I'll see you after the clip.